The company that paid a record fine for an oil and gas explosion that killed 2 people in Firestone wants to keep drilling in that town and drill closer than the 2,000-foot setback that's currently allowed around homes. Our Marshall Zellinger looks at Kerr-McGee's plan.
Oh, I like it all. I like Long's Peak.
The view from Bill Frost's back patio in Firestone is clear, and for now, unobstructed from potential home development.
I'm for the oil because a home would block my view of the mountains.
Kerr-McGee, a company controlled by Occidental Petroleum, wants to drill in Frost's view of the mountains. His home is one of 87 that would be within 2,000 feet of the operation if a waiver is approved by the state this week. The closest home would be less than 800 feet away.
Losing this view would be way more harmful to me than an oil field 2,000 feet that way.
He should talk to some people that are actually experiencing oil and gas development close to their homes.
Mike Foote is an environmental attorney and former Democratic state senator who in 2019 sponsored Senate Bill 181, particularly after 2 people were killed in an explosion in Firestone from an abandoned severed gas line operated by Kerr-McGee, which led to a record $18 million fine.
For the residents of Firestone that went through a very difficult time a couple of years ago, it seems insensitive at best to have a much bigger operation close to much more homes than what happened back in 2017.
An operator can show they're providing substantially equivalent protections under the new law.
Dan Haley, president of the Colorado Oil and Gas Association, explains that oil and gas operations can be within 2,000 feet of homes if the operator proves to the Oil and Gas Commission it will be protective of public health, safety, welfare, and the environment.
For example, instead of using a traditional drilling rig, they might bring in an electric rig, which will be much quieter. They'll do continuous air monitoring. A lot of the concerns are about those sort of nuisance issues. Why are there so many trucks going down the street? What is that sound that I'm hearing? So our operators can then go in and find ways to mitigate that. And again, show that they're being protective of the public health and the environment, which is the intent of Senate Bill 181.
This has been a multi-step, multi-approval process since June. Firestone first had to approve this, and then the company had to engage the community. Ultimately, this waiver to be closer than 2,000 feet, Kyle, has to come from the state.
And so, I mean, they set the process up with a waiver, so it's 2,000 feet for safety, unless you ask and we're cool with it.
Right, and this is rulemaking, and this is a topic that you're going to have to start getting used to because we deal with this now with oil and gas. We're dealing with it with elections. You have the law that is signed by the governor, the bill that's passed by the legislature. But then the rule, how to implement that, is done by the rule makers. And this is one of those things. The commission, not elected, but the commission that's appointed by the elected people, came up with how this works. And they said, we can have an exception if you meet certain criteria.
We'll be watching to see what happens in Firestone. Thank you, Marshall.